So, it's over with Leo, huh?
Carl waves his controller around like it's gonna help him avoid my 3-spike throw, almost knocking over his beer bottle. It hits him anyway, and gives him a little grunt of annoyance. I grin and consider letting it up on him because he's clearly drunk. Seems that way. He hasn't really talked to me much since I got here. Because this isn't his route. I'll leave out the part that it's probably my fault.
Well, also because everyone else, you're hanging out with everyone, and Leo obviously he was trying to hang out with you, and you're hanging out with everyone like you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, we also very specifically had like a moment where he's like, "What's happening?"
And you're like,
"What did I do?" Carl lets out a weird little "ugh" sound as I punch his character as if he were the one getting punched instead. Who would do that? That's weird.
3-spike throw. What the fuck game are they playing? That bugged me. The second line is like 3-spike throw. I'm like, what does that mean?
Might just be a fighting game.
Well, that sucks. Does it suck?
He's looking intently at the screen. Still, I get the feeling he's not paying full attention because it's getting easier and easier to nail his character with my combos.
I think it's easy to nail his character if you want to.
I don't really know yet. It's been 3 years. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet.
Takes that long to kick in for you? When Tanya dumped me, I felt like I couldn't get out of bed for a week.
Oh god.
Well, he had a real girlfriend once.
I remember that, back in high school, when we were both 16. Didn't she get you into pot? Carl lets out a snort again as I flip kick his demon character in the chin.
Yep, and thanks Satan for it. I don't know how else I would have gotten over her. Anyway, not to be a dick, but you're better for it.
He surprises me with a spin kick that sends my Angel Wolf character flying across the screen.
Oh, they're playing fucking Tekken.
Tekken?
Yeah, like a Jin, like...
Angel Wolf?
Yeah, there's like an angel, it's like...
There's an angel and a demon,
like
I guess, right?
Devil Jin or whatever.
I can't read into the wolf because that's just normal in the setting.
Well,
an angel and a demon.
I'm not super fluent in Tekken, but there's like Kazuma or whatever, I think, and then maybe not.
Jin
I think
Kazuma.
It's Jin. Yeah. And then they have like a dad who's in it, who's also funny. Heihachi, yeah. And I want to say, yeah, you can play as like...
They take turns throwing each other into volcanoes and surviving.
One of them has like an angel form, and one of them has a demon form. And you could fight each other as those. I just remember you could play Kuma, and Kuma's a bear.
Yeah, and his name means bear.
Her name means bear.
Ah.
One of the best female fighting game characters of all time.
Enjoyed this trivia. Is that a...
I also have Amaterasu.
Is that a reference they were making with fucking Redacted in Dive Kick? Is that a reference to Kuma? Because Redacted's also a female. It's like a giant Wolverine.
Mate, why is her name Redacted?
Their name's Redacted. I think it's that their name is redacted, like has been redacted maybe, but the name field just says Redacted.
Maybe.
That's a meme of a fighting game. There's 2 buttons. There's dive and kick, and dive means jump.
I like Chun-Li, and I like Kuma.
Vega.
And I like Amaterasu. Thinking of girls. There's not a lot I can say.
Materasu in Marvel vs.
Capcom 3.
I was like, what? I only played 2.
I was complaining.
I mostly played 1.
I was complaining about the lack of
good
female fighting game characters, but I'm like, at least I have Amaterasu. That was always my joke when Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
All of the animals, like a lot of them are female.
Well, because I mean, there's not a lot of interesting girls because like it's like hot girl, hot girl, hot girl, hot girl. But like with guys, you got like monster guy, like gigantic fat guy.
That guy's got a leopard head for some reason.
This guy is like, yeah, exactly. This guy's like half. Like, there's an old man. It's like we don't get ugly female game characters. I want like a variety of women. I don't want like just hot girl, hot girl, hot girl, hot girl. I want at least Amaterasu is a dog.
It's like even the vampire savior game, like John Talbane turns into a werewolf, and
fucking Morrigan
is just a hot lady.
I hate Morrigan because when I went to Evo that one year, Chris G picked Morrigan and just spammed her little skull shot across the screen and just fucking cheated the whole game. Because if you, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fucking get all feisty about it. But she has like a super where you can mirror your skull shot, and if you mirror it, you basically can't avoid it, and you just basically can like exit across the entire screen, and no character can fucking defeat it because it just covers the entire screen with skulls everywhere.
Sounds solid.
Something like that. All I know.
This seems like something that would get banned.
Yeah, all I know is that I do not like Morrigan, and I like Amaterasu.
Her reasons may surprise you. I focus back on the game and throw a barrage of punches into his demon character's face, sending blood splashing onto the screen. Alright, well, most fighting games don't have actual blood like that. Oh?
Well, you know, it's just hard to talk to you and Leo when you guys are being all lovey and shit.
His words are mushy, starting to bleed into one another. His character throws a flaming spear at my angel, which I easily deflect with my shimmering shield. Yeah, I don't think this is Tekken.
Shimmering shield.
Given this on-screen blood splatter and weapons, they're just making stuff up. I extend my wings and swoop in to throw my lightning bolts. Well, you know, no one really tried to talk to us when we were together. It was like we were making you guys uncomfortable. I watch his demon fly into the air, surrounded by a glowing white circle. Looking over, I can see Carl frowning.
No, I don't think so.
His demon spreads its own much spikier wings and hovers up from the circle.
They're actually playing Super Smash Brothers, and when he says wolf, he just means actual wolf. And
Wolf O'Donnell.
and he's playing a Meta Knight.
No. He reaches up into the sky, and a red lightning bolt slams down into my character.
We were playing Pit, I don't know. You guys were just kind of self-absorbed. You didn't call me once after you guys started dating.
Oh no. And here I was thinking Carl never liked conflict. That sentence carried a lot of weight, and a lot of years behind it.
How sad he looks.
Yep. I'm not about to argue with him, though, especially after what happened with Jenna. That lightning bolt was it for my wolf angel, and his demon flies up to the screen and flips us off as his winner is displayed. Yeah, this is extremely made up game.
Yeah, I know.
But also, he won the argument and the match, which means he's right in the law of storytelling.
Yeah, whenever they show a movie and some character like wins the fighting game, it means that they also won the argument.
Yeah.
I feel like that actually does happen in media.
And
sometimes.
It's like, finish him.
And they have like a great quip, and then they actually finish them.
Yeah.
They're like, right through the heart. Ouch.
Well, there was college. Carl stretches, leaning back into the giant beanbag chair we're sitting on.
I don't remember much of college anymore.
He lays back in the chair and looks over at me.
By the way, I have a job interview on Friday.
My eyes widen.
Don't act so surprised, asshole.
He hangs on to the last word with a lisp. You're drunk. But that's awesome. Where at?
A print shop. Be a production assistant.
Well, that sounds decent.
Yeah. Parents told me they'd buy me a car to get there. That must be nice. It's in Peyton, of course. But anyway, Flynn told me he'd give me a ride to the interview. But since you're here...
He gives me a lazy, sidelong glance.
Oh, Flynn's gonna be disappointed. He definitely has a crush on Carl.
Oh. Well, I usually wouldn't have an issue with it. The thought of how hard I'd been procrastinating my school project is starting to make my stomach churn. But hey, how often will I get to hang out with Carl when the break is over? It also didn't sound like Chase was gonna try that hard. I'd love to take you. You know, we were gonna go out and do stuff tomorrow. Why don't we change your look? Get you new clothes or something for your interview.
Makeover!
Makeover!
Montage.
He keeps smiling.
Sounds great. So what's it like? Kissing a dude?
Okay.
Oh! Well, you want to try it?
We're about to break Flynn's heart even more. I let out a surprised laugh. What?
You know, is it like more...
I mean, you have a lot of beard, so... He wiggles his paws uselessly in the air. I don't know?
Just a girl, right? Samantha, right?
I think so, but that was like 7th grade.
So was it different?
Yeah, the other one was an adult. I laugh at him again. pretty sure it's just like kissing a girl, man.
You sure?
I feel like kissing different species would be even more different.
Yeah, you try kissing like a flamingo. That beak is all like up there. Like, how does that even work? Maybe. I've always sort of wanted to know what it's like.
He says it slowly, deliberately.
Oh my goodness.
Trying not to trip over his words.
I always wondered what it was like.
Yeah. I say it even slower because I think I know what Carl's getting at.
I can see how guys can be sexy.
Carl, are you coming out to me?
You coming on to me?
He rolls over onto his stomach, facing me fully now.
That's a good question. Maybe we could answer it.
That was a weird answer. That was a really weird answer.
Like, don't say we. Like, it's not my involvement to answer for you. You should have this question answered before you even try to propose this to me. I'm not an experiment.
I'm a little buzzed, but not drunk. Are you asking if you can kiss me? He gazes at me lazily through lidded eyes, looking about ready to fall asleep.
Only if you want.
I'd been asked to be the experiment of a few guys in the past, in college, and I'd always said no. But Carl is different or is drunk. Mouse, save me from the controller not working. There we go. That's weird.
All right, Keith. What do you want to do?
I mean, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
So I have a question. So if you do like one of these routes, right? Is it that the routes all stem from the same starting point, or does this affect everyone else's route if we do this?
Oh, you're wondering like if we go through TJ's route later, does kissing Carl affect that?
Yeah, like basically, okay. So is
not
it like,
normally?
That's a scary answer.
I mean, I don't know how the game's programmed.
So there was
my understanding would normally be no, but like I think about certain games like Undertale pulling some tricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where trick is like, or like Undertale's like, I know what you did in your other save. I'm like, what? But normally, no, that's not how a visual novel works.
Well, the way I see it is I think that like, well, I mean, a lot of visual novels have like one linear path where you just make decisions as you go and maybe spend time with people like Night in the Woods, like how we said, kind of. But I mean, I get the impression that this, we like go through with something and then it's like time warp back to like where we kind of chose a route and then we choose again and go through a different route. And so we're able to experience each thing with each person.
My understanding is this works more like an RPG where it's like you load your old save and you are just now playing the game from that point, making these new choices completely separately.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of want to just fuck everybody, but I don't.
Like when you play routes, it's not an in-game system where the game like now you can do your second playthrough, a new game plus, and all of you, and it remembers everything. Like normally, it's like it's like as if you had started a new game and played up to that point. So when you
finish this, it's like it ended if you hadn't saved at that point where there was the choices between the individuals.
We essentially are rewinding all the way back to that original choice between all the friends.
Okay, that's
as if none of that had ever happened, except we as players know what happened.
That is what I was wondering because I didn't want this to ruin our ability. So basically what I'm trying to say is fucking everybody gonna ruin our ability to fuck everyone else?
I don't know if you can or not, but no, it's like you should. These are all the equivalent of completely separate playthroughs.
Okay, well then I vote for fucking everybody, but that's just me. That's how I would play this game. But
even Flynn, my God,
no, literally everyone, because
that's just Chase's character in your head.
Well, no, it's just like that's. I just like the the experience, It's like how when I would play Sims, I would just have a bunch of different people I was just fucking, and I wouldn't let them all know I was fucking each other. Like I had them locked in different rooms.
I just figured these two have been friends forever, and they've been like not that subtly like joke flirting since the Route 65 even.
Well, it was in Route 65. It definitely was like, oh yeah, my imaginary girlfriend has a 2-foot dick, and I'm like, I think you added that in on purpose, bud. I think you're trying to tell me something.
Carl is different.
I think that's what I vote for. I don't want to ruin your playthrough with my lewd decisions, Keith.
If you want. Carl's eyes widen slightly, and he slowly gets to his hands and knees and crawls towards me.
I don't know. I changed them. Don't crawl towards me, you weirdo.
They're on a bed, I think, or something.
Yeah, but just like use your knees. Don't like use your hands and knees, you weirdo.
So you had a really narrow threshold for calling this whole thing off.
No, I'm out. I just imagined it. I was just like, he's crawling towards you across the bed. I don't know.
He's drunk. You want him to try to balance on his knees?
Be funny.
I was gonna stand up, but it looks like he wants to do this on the beanbag. Oh, that's where we are. I lean back in the bag, sinking into it a bit more. Carl kneels at my feet, looking unsure.
Is this right?
Yeah, do you want me to stand? Before I know it, he's crawled up on top of me. His presence is heavy and warm, and I lean back, feeling myself get hard despite the awkwardness of it all. He looks down at me, into my eyes, and I feel myself blush.
Sorry, is this okay?
Yeah, it's fine. He leans down, pauses, then leans in all the way, and I feel his soft, wide muzzle against mine. At the same time, I feel one of his paws slide behind my head. It's different than kissing Leo, or Samantha way back in middle school. Carl's muzzle is big and more blunt, his lips softer and more malleable. It covers the entire front of my muzzle.
Oh, goodness.
His beard tickles my neck and cheeks. I expect him to pull back quickly, but he doesn't, keeping his paw behind my head and pressing deeper into the kiss. His other paw holds on to my upper arm. I open my eyes and see that his are closed. He hunches over me, closer, and I feel myself start to respond, reaching up to wrap my arms around his broad back. He huffs in response, and then I feel his lips part, and his tongue flicks against my lips. I start to open them, but that's when I feel the beanbag shift and Carl slides to the side. Somehow, he manages to slip and fall on the wobbly beanbag, his mouth sliding sloppily off mine as he slumps down on top of me. Oh. Look at this picture. What is this lighting setup?
I was just thinking about that. Does he have one of those some people have those little light projection
scalies.
Lamps? Scaly. Oh my gosh, it does say that.
Yeah. Is that a Cthulhu on the right? Look at this whole ass scene.
It looks like for some reason I guess a Cthulhu. It looked like a xenomorph or something, but I can't tell.
I feel like he's holding a staff and he has a hood and tentacles coming out. It's weird.
Maybe it's Predator. I don't know.
This is a really nice room.
What? Is that Rocky? What movie is it where he's holding the...
He's got a championship
holding
belt.
The belt like that.
I'm not sure.
Would that be Rocky? That kind of gives away the ending.
Kind of gives away... have you ever seen the poster for Carrie?
Oh gosh. It's funny, I had not before seeing it, so
yeah.
Learning later that they had that kind of bummed me out a little bit.
This is just a sweet scene. Alright, I can do this. This is Bong. He's also got a bong and he's got some discarded socks and underwear. A can, I think.
Man, if only he knew about dabs. I don't know if that was a thing yet.
I let out a grunt as his weight comes to rest on my chest. He chuckles, and I can feel the spasms all the way through my own body.
Oops.
I laugh, too. Then wait a while, but he doesn't move. Carl? You can get off now. Don't mind if I do. That's how he always reacts to those fucking lines. He might have fallen asleep. He doesn't say anything. I'm about to say something else when I hear a deep snore right next to my ear. No. Carl? His response is another guttural snore. I shift under him, for the first time realizing how actually fucking heavy he is. We suffocate. Bad end. Well, this feeds back into the swing conversation about how like we're like the one person that consistently makes him feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So this is really sweet.
Well, it's like, you know, he obviously this is something that's been on his chest for a while. So, and I think like with that in the swing conversation, and even like back when in Route 65, it's just this kind of like he feels awkward around a bunch of people and he has problems with social situations, but he's always felt comfortable with us. And so if he did have like this kind of like burning question or thought in his brain, like of course it would be us that would have to like help him with it. Like poor little baby. I do imagine though, being with a guy that had horns like that, you just would sleep next to them and they just conk you in your head all night as you roll around. You
gotta put tennis balls on the tips.
Not even just that. I mean, just like if you go from like spooning to like laying straight on your back, like you roll over too far, you go kunk, oh, there's a horn there.
Gonna wear an apparatus around it. It's not exactly a bad feeling. His presence is enveloping and warm, and the beanbag under me is offering enough cushion so I'm not getting crushed. My erection, on the other hand, is just pinned. The snoring isn't bad either. It's almost comforting as his breath tickles the hairs inside my ear. His big belly squishes up against my torso like a warm sandbag. His eyes are heavy and, slowly, I wrap my arms around his back. I haven't had someone to sleep with in years, and now I realize how much I miss the feeling. Slowly, the dim lights in Carl's room fade out as I fall asleep to his comforting, rhythmic snores. I guess everyone else is gone.
Yeah, we kind of skipped that part.
Remember Duke?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Look at tiny TJ. Look at him.
Oh goodness.
Man, this is that's a trip. I wasn't ready for it just to pop up like that. I have a little background here, which is that like there are some inconsistencies with the sprites, which we've already noticed with Route 65. Route 65 was the old sprites that they made for those characters, like all the way back in like 2015 or something. Whereas they made the newest sprites with the same artist more recently, and that's what they look like now. So that's why Leo and Carl look so different. But somebody made a fan music video based on Echo, and that person was hired to draw them as kids, and so that's why the art's so different. Suddenly, the kid versions of them look really different because it was from this completely different artist.
Wait. So somebody commissioned them to make a fan music video, and that's what this is?
No, they made a music video for fun, and then they hired him to make the actual art for the kids.
Oh, that's really nice.
And so that's the massive art divergence. I have not seen the video because I'm afraid of spoilers.
Stylistic choice. I thought it was just like because...
Technically.
Well, yeah.
Somebody made choices and we got here. They might have been a different, maybe even worse sprite for them as kids. I have no idea. Once upon a time.
Well, this looks very clean.
Stop! I heave for breath as I chase TJ down the dusty street, trying not to pop the water balloon that I'm holding in my claws.
Well, holding it with claws is the first wrong thing you're doing.
Yeah. You always chase me! TJ's whining again, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding.
I would definitely pull if I had a choice. He's the one. Well, no, maybe Flynn, because Flynn's a dick. But TJ, I can see it.
Even though he's a grade lower and he could outrun me easily, I guess I can still keep up with him, though. He's running around houses and mailboxes. My 4th grade brain is easy to find and is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. It's not long before I have him backed up against the back of the Benally's trailer home. He does a stupid dance where he's running back and forth, covering his head. Stop! I stick my tongue out the side of my muzzle, following him back and forth with the balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still. No! He finally curls up into a ball against the house, crouching in the dirt in his blue swim trunks. Worst call. He's not very smart. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're not gonna try to run. He looks up at me between his fingers. You always throw it too hard. Well, if you... He suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode, though, instead smacking against his spotted back in a wet splat. Ow! He skids to a stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the balloon, grinning at how the tables have turned. Uh-oh. I start jogging backwards as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips the balloon too hard, and I can see how his claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw.
We all knew that kid.
Water showers his head, and dust kicks up as dark, wet spots speckle the ground just like his fur, I think. He gasps the way cats do whenever they get water on them, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry, and I hold my breath because I don't want the game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too. That always happens to me! Well, don't hold it so hard. I wasn't! Yeah, you were. I saw... I see TJ's ears perk up, and he looks over, towards the front of the house. What? But that's when I hear it, too.
Doing with those water balloons? Don't touch me. I'm not touching you, just give me the fucking balloons.
Clint and Jeremy. Carl must have followed us, and they saw him out the window. My guts drop to my feet, and I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth, and I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. Go run and get Leo. He can help. Before I know it, TJ is tearing across the backyards of the houses, up the block where Leo is filling water balloons. At least, that's where I hope he's going.
Yeah, please, don't run home.
Slowly, I pad around the house, peeking around the corner in the front yard. Carl's standing with his fists clenched, staring hard, trying to look defiant, but I can tell he's terrified. Multicolored water balloons are scattered around his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. He always wore a shirt when we did water games.
He's self-conscious. What's the matter, cunt face? We're not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, right. Right. Jeremy laughs stupidly at Clint and bends down to pick up a purple water balloon. Clint starts circling around Carl, and the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flaring. As he's looking the other way, Jeremy throws the water balloon right in Carl's face. Following the smack of rubber on muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house, knowing I should do something, but my legs aren't moving.
Leave me alone.
Carl's doing a good job of not crying, but he's about to.
Hey, we're just playing.
Clint leans down to pick up another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, dodging around the bent-over Clint down towards the street. Clint's too fast, though, and the ring-tailed cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back before using his long tail to trip the ram up. Carl lands on his stomach, with a loud grunt as Clint sits on his back, holding onto his horns.
Cunt! He stepped on my tail!
Clint grabs both of Carl's horns and leans back, so far I think I can hear his spine cracking. Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns. With his face pointed at the sky, I can see the tears rolling down his face now. The one eye I can see is open wide, and I think he sees me, but my legs still won't move. Hey! Leo jogs up the street, still looking right at Clint. The ringtail sneers but drops Carl back to the ground and starts up as Leo gets closer.
The fuck do you want, Beaner?
Clint's weary. his casual demeanor more tense now that Leo's here. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before standing and running back up the street, his hooves clopping loudly all the way. Leo doesn't even look at him, his eyes on Clint.
I said, what do you want? You no understand?
Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He's only been here less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I wonder if he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck.
You're fucking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy.
Clint is afraid of Leo, and he's left us alone ever since the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they're both 13, Leo is a head taller and almost twice as wide. Leave them alone. Clint stops.
What?
Leave them alone forever. Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, but unable to leave now that Leo has thrown a challenge. Not in front of Jeremy. I'm Jeremy.
Or what?
Or, he thinks for a second, is not good for you. Painful. I hadn't been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see a sudden movement from behind Leo, followed by another smack and a splash. Leo arches his back, hissing at the pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. The wolf whirls around, one paw rubbing at his back, as he snarls at Jeremy, who points and laughs. Ha! Wetback! He doesn't see Clint running out at him from behind. Leo! I yelp out his name, and he does turn around, only to catch a sucker punch right in the stomach. I can hear the thud, along with all the air going out of him all the way up from here. Leo stumbles back, and stops with his paws on his knees, gasping. I wince and cover my eyes, only to pull them back down immediately and see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and biting his ear. Leo screams in pain, but immediately twists and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts an end to when he grabs the fox and swings him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams headfirst into an oak tree. He goes down. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the front door. Leo doesn't give him a chance, though, running forward and hitting him with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think I hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's fists start raining down on his face. Now all I can hear are crunchy, fleshy thuds, as punch after punch hits Clint's face. And I can hear Leo, too. Quieres pelea. No me lloras. The sounds Clint makes go from snarling to screaming to gurgling, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in a trance with how focused he is on hurting Clint. But again, I'm too terrified. I run in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry, that I should have helped him somehow, but that I was so scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. The sky is red and orange, even though it was noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger, much bigger than it should be. The architecture's pointier, different. I walk around it, slowly looking for Carl. Looking down, I see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I follow them anyway. They lead around the back of the house, right up to a wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out to them, even though I feel something terrible welling up inside my stomach. I pull on them, but they're stuck, as if welded shut somehow. A window well next to the doors draws my attention, and I get down on my knees, then on my stomach, as I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots on the edges, like paw prints breaking through a layer of old dust. The paw prints of children. The room is almost pitch black, but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawl across the ground. I don't know where I am at first as I open my eyes, but the dimmed Lucha Lobo lamp tells me, well, that was a memory?
Part memory.
Nightmare?
I think it's like a warped memory.
It went places.
Yeah.
Like, was it like is a window well the type of window you have for a cellar that sticks out the bottom of a wall? I'm trying to think of like what that is. A window well.
I don't know, actually. I'm not familiar
with that. It's like a cellar window because he had to get down on the ground to look through it.
I mean, that's very possible.
And it's covered in the paw prints of children, and then he saw like a spider inside. So there's just a lot going on there.
We don't live in a place that has those.
No.
But I always remember them from Hey Arnold. Because they had them like where their feet would go. There's always like...
Yeah.
Like in their building, they had those
or it's like where Ed lives.
They would use them for specific things.
Like Ed lived in a basement at a netty.
His mom took away the stairs.
My parents said I am grounded. They took the stairs away. It's terrifying. That leaves an impact on you. But
it definitely like leaves some weird. I mean, children's handprints in a basement window is definitely not a great. Definitely a little bit of a spooky image for sure.
Yeah. Laying there for a while, I realized that Carl's no longer on top of me. My face fur is a little wet, and my nose is stuffy.
Carl was just like licking him in his sleep.
I look around thinking that Carl probably went back to his bed, but he's not there either. He must be getting a drink or something.
Uh-oh. Maybe he's in the basement.
I think something's starting here. A dull, far-off thud makes me open my eyes again. I listen carefully, starting to worry that the sound came from downstairs. Again, I hear it, and it makes me jump this time. Shit, is this happening again? I hear a voice coming from the same area, directly below me. It's a lot more muffled, but I can still tell it's a voice, muttered and cursing. Carl? My voice sounds weak and warbly in the heavy silence of the dark house. The scuffling sounds below me stop for a second, though, then start up again, more vigorous now. Slowly I sit up, listening to the whispering and thumping beneath me. My mind flashes to Duke, the weasel's foot forward, his eyes locked on me. Finally, the anxiety gets to me and I stand up, walking as quietly as I can from the room into the hallway. The kitchen is dark, and I move over to the front door to check and see if it's locked. It is. So I move over to the stairs and look down into the inky blackness, almost afraid to turn on the lights. Nothing jumps out at me when I do, but the light is actually making me more afraid, knowing that it will light up anything that's down there. I move down the stairs as quietly as I can, every creak making my fur bristle. The scraping sound is louder now, and so is the voice. I'm almost positive that's Carl's, but I can't be sure. I call out his name again, but it's almost a whisper in my throat. I clasp my paws together against my chest, eyes flicking to each doorway as I slowly move down the hall, not wanting Carl to get the jump on me. When I finally get the crawl space door, I can pick up a rhythmic thumping along with the scrapes, and the muttering is much clearer now.
Buried inside. Help.
I shiver. Carl, this isn't funny. Again, my voice is weak and unconvincing. He probably didn't even hear me. Another thump almost shakes the house, and I jump. What the hell is he doing? Is it even Carl? Did whoever is down here murder him and is now in the process of burying his body? Very poorly?
Yeah, way to make a lot of noise, bud.
Well, just not even that. Just like, if you're trying to hide a body, the location of the murder is not a great place to do it.
Well, they'd least expect you to be so stupid.
The fear is too much, and I know I have to open the door now and put an end to this stupid prank, or I'm going to call 911 and make everything worse. With each step I take towards the door, as it feels like the air is getting more electrified, the charge making my fur stand on end all over my body. As soon as I touch the tiny knob to the door and start to pull it open, though, the sound stops. I freeze, listening hard. I get the feeling that whatever is down there is doing the exact same thing. Then I hear a series of thumps, as whatever it is runs at the door. I fall back and can't help myself from shrieking, landing on my ass and scooting backwards with my paws and feet. The door flies open and I'm face to face with a dusty Carl. Carl, what the fuck? I scream at him, my chest heaving as I clutch it, like I'm about to have a heart attack. He looks confused, looking around then back at me, breathing hard himself. Has he been sleepwalking?
Maybe. I mean, earlier he kept hearing stuff and we didn't hear the stuff.
Yeah, but we also he also didn't hear when we heard something. So there's like something like asynchronous about that. I wait, but he doesn't say anything. There's white dust all over his horns and on his shoulders. Just what? I yell at him again and he jumps. I'd feel bad if I wasn't so freaked out.
I sleepwalk sometimes, okay?
I debate whether or not to accept that as an answer, but he looks confused enough that it just might be true. You scared the shit out of me. Carl moves out of the crawl space, leaning over to brush his head off.
You scared the shit out of me. I didn't know where I was.
I slowly get to my feet, still breathing heavily. What is that stuff? What were you doing in there?
Just dust. It's dirty down there.
Again, I feel like he's leaving stuff out. I try to look past him into the crawl space, but he closes the door.
Come on, I need a smoke after that.
I stand back to let him pass, tempted to open the door again. He grabs my arm when he sees me looking, though.
Seriously, dude, let's go. I don't really want to be alone in this house right now. Please.
He's hiding something, isn't he?
Yes.
He's up to something. What's going on, Carl?
Yeah, Carl. Hey, Carl, what are you doing, Carl?
I look at him, and I can tell he's definitely freaked out. I would be too if I woke up in that crawl space over Jenna's body. Yeah, let's go. Slowly, I follow him, looking back at the door before flicking off the light.
Oh my gosh. You know? If all these stories go back to the main point, everyone else could die. Everyone could die every time.
Yeah?
Just saying.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
Like that, like
we just know it's Thursday.
Like when they cry.
We are just hanging out with Carl. So Leo was looking forward to this.
Yeah, sorry, Leo. Fuck off, I guess.
Like, it was clearly a big deal for him, and we saw him for like 5 minutes yesterday, and that's it.
Well, Chase really hasn't shown an interest in hanging out with Leo very much, so I kind of like, as much as like Leo was looking forward to it, he kind of needs to get over it.
It makes me wonder what everyone else is getting up to without us. I know.
No offense to Carl, but like we've just been hanging out in Carl's room this whole time, doing nothing, fucking around.
I guess Jenna did go and kind of fuck everything up a bit by being intense, and it's like now it's like maybe they did just go off and do their own thing. She made things weird. Yeah, that was like a strong reaction.
I mean, I feel like you kind of, I don't know. If I was Chase, I'd be like, I would comfort Carl, and then I'd be like.
So anyway, TJ wanted to hike?
Yeah, anyway, yeah, I kind of be like, oh yeah, well, let's try to fix this. Or like, let me go hang out with them. If you don't want to, I understand. But like, I feel obligated to the rest of the group to at least see them for a bit. Like,
yeah. Well, now the,
can't leave on that note, basically.
Now the, so about last night conversation has a lot of options of what it could be about.
Yeah, it could be about him being in the crawl space. Or it could be about him smooching us with his big malleable lips, which I thought was an interesting word choice.
I mean, compared to like Flynn, who is a lizard.
Yeah, well,
I guess.
Well, we'll have to wait for that description if that ever shows up.
How they describe his lips.
Cold.